second half of today's class. This one. This one means a lot to me. And I'll try my best to generate the energy, the vibration behind it so you can develop your own relationship with it. I saw this first. This is called like the 9 stages of tranquil abiding, or 9 stages of a meditation practice. As you improve your practice or as you go deeper into your practice, what experiences do you have? I mean, and if you want, you can, when you get home, you can read on the back. It's kind of a little faded out, but you might be able to make it out. All the different stages. But I'm going to give you my own interpretation. I first saw this in a meditation course many years ago. And it meant a lot to me. I said, oh, this is really good. And then some years passed and I forgot it. And then I was traveling in Tibet, and I saw this painted on a monastery wall. I said, oh my gosh, it's been so many years since I saw that one. When I get home, I'm going to put that into the meditation course. I'm going to put it on the first page of the handout so that I don't forget it again. So that's what I did. So what do we have here? Okay. It starts with this person, male or female, leaving a home. So leaving something they're comfortable with. And they're blind. That's why their hands are out. They don't really know where they're going, but they know they need to go beyond something that their comforts. There's something more. They have no idea what it is, but they just have that some light. And ahead of them is this monkey, this dark-colored monkey, yanking. He's walking, but he's yanking a running elephant. That's your monkey mind is so powerful. It controls. It's who you think everything is. The elephant represents your true nature, your true self, and it's being yanked with ease by the monkey mind. Then, stage 2, you say, oh, I see what's going on here. You see that he's not blind anymore. She's not blind anymore. She says, I see what's going on here. And the monkey slows down. Because now you recognize that this is what's been going on. And then you get to this part here, the third time you see the 3 of them together. And he's actually using that lasso. And the monkey doesn't, still in front, still leading, but does not hold the elephant. The person is holding the elephant. The elephant looks back. And it's like the person says, you know what? I now have a practice, a meditation practice, to quiet my mind or to make, to feel that connection with my true self. It's not all the monkey mind. And you even see this little rabbit. You see the rabbit 1, 2, 3 times. So throughout this, the rabbit represents, they say, mental torpor. So it's just like this doubt, this heaviness, this weight of saying, you know what, look, meditation's not that important. You're on this planet, you might as well enjoy it. Why'd it have to be so austere? Go have fun. Go for your desires. Or the monkey mind says, you know what, practice as much as you want. It's not going to do anything. Still going to be here. There's no such thing. It's all this doubt. And you move through that. And you even hear the story, say, in Siddhartha Gautama, which was 2,600 years ago, sat under the papal tree for a number of days and then attained enlightenment and became known as the Buddha. During the meditative practice, he or she was approached by, Mara. Mara is supposed to be this energy of torpor, doubt. And so Mara says to the Buddha 3 times one thing. First says, at this point, Siddhartha Gautama, not realized yet, but says, you can't do this meditation thing. gonna set up about 1,000 or 10,000 archers, and they're all gonna be pointing their arrows at you, and we're gonna cut you down. So do whatever you're gonna do, but that's what's happening. Or if you stop, then don't worry about it. We'll have mercy on you. And the Buddha says, I've been around, or Siddhartha says, that's fine. Do what you will. I've had it with like the earthly, desires and things like this. My fears, that this doesn't exist. If you shoot me down, that's fine. That's how it goes. I'll come back. I'll keep coming back. So Mara disappears, and so the archers. And then round 2 comes through with desire. All the riches, all the women, all the beauty, all the men, whatever, all the goodness, every desire you could ever want, to steer him away. And he says, you know what? My interest in those things are not even close to my interest in, open heart, peaceful mind, enlightenment, happiness, joy. So he disappears. Third time, Mara comes, him or herself, and says, this is very arrogant of you. You think you can, become enlightened. Never been done before. Never. There's been beings for eons. Although in other traditions, by the way, there apparently have been Buddhas before Siddhartha Gautama, before 2,600 years ago. But anyways, in this story, Mara says, never been done before. It's not possible. Not in the human form. Sorry. Yeah. And then there's a famous gesture of the Buddha, like a hand by his belly or her belly, and the hand touching the earth, calling on like the earth as a witness that, yeah, you're right. And actually, I've been trying again and again and again and coming back for all these eons, and this is the one. This is when it's going to happen. And at that moment, Mara disappears, and then, becomes enlightened. So each of us has our own mental torpor, our own doubts, our own Maras that says, my parents said I should do this, or I live in this town and boy, everyone around me is wanting that, so I want that too. Whatever our Maras are, that's what that rabbit represents. And you'll see the rabbit disappears. Let's see, you get 1, 2, 3 rounds of rabbit and then it disappears. So it does disappear. Mara does disappear, according to this model. So you keep practicing, and then you even see, I don't know if it's tricky maybe to see, but the monkey goes in the tree up here. Do you see this tree? The monkey's in the tree. That means you've given the monkey its hamster wheel. You say, I get it, mind. Your nature is to have thoughts and emotions. But I also now understand that I don't identify myself based on them. I can have them because I'm having the human experience. But I know, that's not my true nature, my true self. And as you go through, so you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different symbols that arise. Yeah? These are your 5 senses, meaning you need to go beyond identifying with your 5 senses. This fabric is touch. This flower is, the smell. The fruit. This fruit is taste. The smell, the coming out of the conch shell is something to smell. The chimes here is sound. The mirror is sight. So you go beyond them, and then you see finally the monkey is praying and saying, it was never my intention to cause you harm. However, I am a monkey. My nature, as your monkey mind, is restlessness. And it vanishes at this point. And at that point, your mind becomes very still. These concepts of, diamond focus. Sometimes people say, I had an interview with the Dalai Lama. And let me tell you about my experience. And I'll say, oh, wow. Or you read about these things. I've never had an interview with the Dalai Lama, but I'm just saying I've been told that his concentration is so present, his thich nhat hanh, his mindfulness is so strong that you feel almost like they've said, like you're the center of the universe. He's not distracted by his, hold on a second, I'm waiting for this call, sorry, I know it's not that one. None of that happens. He's very present. So people feel great in his presence because who doesn't like being seen? So his mind, his chatter has gotten much, much, much smaller. Although there's some say we have to have some chatter because if we didn't, then we can't be embodied. We can't. Part of the human experience is this. And once you go beyond the mind, then at that point, you don't come back. That you're not embodied as a human. And there are some traditions of Buddhism, a more common modern one called the Mahayana tradition, which says, well, actually, since we're all interconnected, you can't go until we all go. So this is kind of from that tradition where you see it became very, very peaceful. And then all of a sudden, this last row is coming out of the heart. It's like a rainbow. What does that rainbow represent? What am I talking about here? And you also, at the same time, you went from a lot of fire. You start out with a lot of fire. Your effort has to be so great in this practice in the beginning. And then it gets less and less and less and less and less as you go through. And then at the end, why is it so big again? Because again, this is that Mahayana tradition of when you get really close to the mind being very still, then part of your awareness is that how we all interrelate. So the only way that it's going to totally become pure is for all of our minds to become pure and clean. And then at that point, it's like we just are basically standing by the door with a lamp. You keep coming back, rebirth again and again and again. It's a Buddhist tradition until we all awaken. And when we all awaken, that's that big flame. Then we all go off to some place called Tashita heaven. It's a different realm. A concept, not the concept, but a concept of meditation. But I do like some of the elements in here, I do. And I once had a student who was Japanese. He said, that's very interesting because where I'm from in Japan, we don't have elephants, but we have cows. So he actually wrote this article. It's hard to see now, but the 10 different stages, very similar, just from instead of a Buddhist perspective as a Japanese. The Zen picture of 10 kind of cows. So you can read that if you like. I put that essay attached at home. Okay. After the essay, you'll see this one, the 5 elements. This is a good one. I believe you can buy this in color at the the library, but here's for free. We'll do meditation practices on the 5 elements. It's very important for us to understand Chinese medicine, how each element generates, controls. Yeah. We'll also do meditation practice on the page after that, the Yin Qi cycle. We talked about earlier how that 3:30 in the morning, something about 3:30 in the morning, yeah, and then moving to that liver hour, 3 to 5. But we'll get into this. We'll do a meditation on this. The next page is called Into the Woods. It's an article on a meditation concept called Santosha. And Santosha is one of the limbs in I believe Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. The second limb of Patanjali's 8-limb path of yoga. It means contentment. Whatever you're doing, either in your yoga practice or in your life or being with your patients, this concept of cultivating contentment. And this is a nice article to read. It's about when you're in nature practicing contentment. And surprise, but I don't know if you noticed, but week 4, we actually do a meditation hike or a meditation walk. It's not in class here. So we'll meet, and I'll tell you about, I'll remind you, don't worry. But on week 4, we'll meet at Temescal Park, which is, you just go down PCH 5 minutes down or whatever, 5-10 minutes down, and then go up the PCH north about 5 minutes. And it's about 15 minutes from here. It's incredible. Most people say it's their favorite class of the whole course. But yeah, whatever works. You'll see what works for you. We'll do a walking meditation practice, and then we'll do a seated meditation practice in nature. That's a great one. So this is a nice article to read in preparation for that. Then some patients, some students say, this is great. I really enjoy class. Class ends. This 10 weeks is over in a second, by the way. it just goes. And some people say, I really like practicing at home, but is there any groups I can go practice with now? What do you recommend? This is even an old search, probably many years ago. I just did meditation Los Angeles. I just did a keyword search. There's so many great centers around here to practice with. There's value to you practicing at home in the growth of your practice. There's also value to you practicing within a group setting that helps grow your practice too. There's inspiring things you get from a practice with group, the cultivation of Sangha, and we'll talk more about that, but not more today. So yes, LA Yoga Center, Shambhala Meditation Center, Zen Dharma Meditation Center, Meditation LA, Siddha Yoga Center. I don't know, there's so many. And somebody says, well, why did you cross out this one called the 5-minute meditation? What's wrong with that one? It's on the back page. It may be a great practice. I have no idea. I'm just not a big fan of quick fix meditation practices. I've read once before, there's someone said, learn to meditate in 2 minutes and 30 seconds, during the commercial times when you're watching a show. And it's like, it takes time. We come in this room and it takes time just to leave the baggage outside the room. It may take a little bit of time when you're practicing. Your mind may be going because you're just in this stressful traffic, and you just need a little time to do a little conscious breathing before your body settles down. And some days are better than others. Some days you go right into a peaceful state. Other times the whole practice is just, turmoil, equanimity, non-grasping. So that's why I think it takes time. Then I did a keyword search, Amazon, Peace Every Step. Again, you can buy it online. So I told you there was 2 things. My time passes, and in, 30 years, God willing, many or most of us or all of us are here still. You look back on your experience here at Emperor's, and you may remember a couple teachers or a couple of key things. I remember a few. There were some inspiring teachers and some inspiring moments. So if I could enter one offering into possibly being remembered, not me, but something from this class, it's this one. This is the one. It's not necessarily saying this what I'm going to read to you right now, but it's the concept, and we'll talk about it for a moment. It's about transferring merit. When you practice, don't read it yet. When you practice your meditation, try to make the practice more than about your own joy or your own liberation or your own peace of heart, or your own quieting of the mind. That's a lot of me energy, And over time, there's tough things happen. The me energy isn't strong enough to transcend those tough times. If you make the energy of your practice about helping others, that's why I say, may all the good merits of this practice be offered to the liberation of all beings from suffering. May all the merits of this practice, everything, anything, even a teeny little thing comes from it, may it go to help all beings. First of all, you're not separate from that, so you don't get any less. Second of all, it taps into a much bigger energy. And if all beings are, and many beings are, making that intention, that's greatness. If we all make it about our own self and our own thing, that's a mess. So then I read this. Rich generosity, a concept on transferring merit. When a candle is lit in a dark room, it illuminates the room to some extent, but its power is limited. But if you use the same candle to light another candle, the total brightness increases. You don't get any less when you transfer the merit. Your candle doesn't get dimmer because you shared. It doesn't work that way. So if you practice for a half hour, or if you practice for 1 minute, both of those try to at least set aside some of that time about transferring the merit of that 1 minute practice to something great. May all beings be happy. May all beings be free from fear. May all beings have enough food to eat. May all beings live with ease of heart. You know, whatever speaks to you. And then this back page is about morality. You can read this, but that's one of the 10 paramitas. You can read this at home. Oh, there's more on this. Okay. You'll see this with your patients. They come in, a meditation practice you think might be helpful for them. And sometimes it's nice to know, well, what different physiological benefits can meditation help with? You know, I'm a brass tacks kind of guy, you know, says your patient. Well, we need to, you know, increase your blood flow, Mr. Jones. You know, you've got a coronary artery disease. I want to teach you meditation so you get more oxygen to your heart and your brain. Forget your emotions, forget your spirit, just physically I want you to, you know, not get a myocardial infarction. Or reduce anxiety, you know, helpful for weight loss, lowers cholesterol levels, helps with headaches and migraines. Less energy gets wasted, so less fatigue, someone's fatigued. All physiological benefits. Someone else might say, that's not my issue. I'm doing meditation for more psychological benefits. You can see that column. You know, building self-confidence, helping to resolve phobias and fears, you know, helping to resolve stressful events, helping just with road rage, you know, psychologically you need a little help. And by the way, meditation isn't so, I mean, you all know this now, but I remember years ago my mother was at Sloan Kettering in New York, you know, getting breast cancer. And as part of Sloan Kettering, which is, you know, one of the leading cancer centers in the country, everyone is taught meditation, you know, to visualize, break up the cancer cells, you know, move into the breath. Mainstream, not so far out. Anyways, other people may come to you. Spiritual benefits. They're looking to meditation because they feel depression. Why is it depression? They feel isolated and separate from all beings. They don't understand how they interrelate with other beings. So they feel very secluded, very alone. And they feel depression. So you teach them meditation so they can, not on an intellectual level, but on a spirit level, their spirit can feel, better understand how it interrelates with other beings. And there's more here too. What else do they say? Wisdom, helping things in perspective, peace of mind, self, you know, your purpose, helping to, you know, our purpose. So, thoughts. Oh, and here's, boy, this is old, 2013 tour. Okay, forget that. You can go online, Thich Nhat Hanh. When he comes into town, highly recommend you go see him. I just need to shake my legs out and then we'll do meditation practice. Here's another thing. Before we start here. It's good to stretch your legs out, you know? I never had meditation teachers that were so rigid, say, stay still, you know? Don't move, you know, on your back. That wasn't my path. You know, compassion level. If your legs are tired, stretch them out, you know? If you need to stand up, you know? If you need to, sometimes when I'm practicing, I'm not like this. You know, sometimes I'm practicing like this. Or in a chair, or standing. I think it's fine. Other people may disagree with me, but there's enough hurdles we need to get through. If you can make your body less uncomfortable or more comfortable, you know, the better. That being said, try not to indulge too deep into it, because some people say, well, I feel a bead of sweat coming down my brow, and I'm going to not touch it. And others say, oh, it's just driving me crazy. If I don't touch it, I'm going to get it. So some people will get it. And then when that goes on, all of a sudden 3 come down the other, you know. So it's like, it's a little bit of a, you got to experiment with this one. How much is your comfortable movement versus when is it just, you just got to sit down on the cushion and get in there. By the way, that's the hardest part of practice, meditation practice. It's just putting the rump on the cushion and sitting down to practice, starting. From my experience, there's always something that needs to be done now, and there always will be. So can we do one more practice before the day's end? Any questions before we start? Okay. So we can find a comfortable seated posture. Bring your attention to your breath. Slowly inhale and slowly exhale. If you can, allow the spine to be nice and straight. Allow the shoulders to roll back. And let's imagine our feet, our legs, and our hips are like roots in the earth. So bring the energy first to the toes. Feel the energy moving through the toes and the feet, ankles. Feel the energy moving up through the lower limb, calves, to the knees, thighs, and pelvis. And imagine from the pelvis down is in the earth, in the soil, and getting nourished by the earth. And coming out of the earth is a stem of this plant or your spine. So slowly move up your spine. Feel the energy in the low back, abdomen. Move into your chest. And feel the energy in your heart and your lungs. And feel the energy in your chest radiating out like petals on a flower. Feel the chest expanding front and back, up and down, side to side, and the light spreading in all directions. And then feel the energy moving up to your upper back and your shoulders and your neck. This is where we hold tension in the human form, on the shoulders and back. If you have a backpack or something to carry, you should typically put on your back when it's heavy. So the heaviness, the stress, and tension. Let's do a series of 3 rounds. I'll explain them to you. Where we're going to inhale, and we'll gather up all the tension in this area. And then as we exhale, we'll let it all go out through our arms, out through our hands, out through the fingertips. So take your first inhalation, feel all the energy going up into shoulder and tension. And then exhale, all the stress and tension out the arms, forearms, hands, fingertips. Twice more, inhale. Hold it. And exhale, all the tension out your arms, forearms, hands, and fingertips. Once more, inhale. Hold it. Take some more air in. Some more air. And then exhale out. All the tension out your arms, hands, fingers and fingertips. And then move back into the neck. Move to the back of the head, the skull, ears, the forehead, the jaw, the mouth, nose, the eyes, and come to rest at the third eye, or the space between your eyebrows. Bring the energy into the brain, a few inches of the pineal glands. Be in this stillness for a few moments here. When you're ready, you can also bring energy now to the top of the head, crown. Feel the light, rainbow of energy, light at the top of the head. White light. And feel the energy moving from the crown, back through the head, through the neck, and coming to rest in the heart. We'll sit here for a few more moments in silence. A few more breaths. 3 more breaths. When you're ready, you can bring your hands to your heart, if you like. Perhaps an Anjali Mudra, prayer mudra, if you like. May all the good merits of this practice be offered to the liberation of all beings from suffering. And when you're ready, you can slowly allow yourself to come out of your practice. Allow your eyes to open. The church bells are ringing. Good timing. Great first class. So glad you're all here. I know we all need to run. It's noon. Just give me 2 seconds. Homework is, please get the book and start reading it. Create a meditation space for yourself at home. If you don't want to do the edge of your bed, and prefer maybe like its own little area, you can make a little space that seems welcoming to you with maybe a cushion or a flower or a candle or something, a picture that feels very loving to you. There's your altar, or whatever you want to call it. Practice each morning, daily, 15 minutes. Journal for perhaps a few minutes after that. And if you like, if you want to do an energy cultivation exercise, you could try a half day in silence, or even a few hours in silence. Sunday morning, Thursday evening, whatever it may be. And just practice, energy coming in as opposed to just, speaking a lot. Anyways, any questions? Thank you guys so much. I'm looking forward to seeing you next week. And I'm going to, I videoed this, I taped this. I'm going to put it, I got to figure out how to do it first. But we're going to put it on, make it available for you guys for free to watch, if you want, during the week so you can practice along. We did 2 practices today. The first one was, feeling the energy of the 10 paramitas, each one coming to your heart. And the second one was a visualization type where you feel energy moving through your body. Obviously, it was an image of a flower, energy coming up and blossoming in the heart, and then went up to top here and then came back down to the heart. So, and releasing out the stress through the shoulders and arms. So, where would you go? You'd go, I can't, my legs are asleep. It'll probably end up on, like on my office's YouTube channel. So it'll probably put up there under the category of meditation. So you can go online and watch it. The company is Lotus East West Medical Center. So if you just do Lotus East West on YouTube, you should find our channel. And then this course will be up there. Give me a few days to get it together. Got to work it out. And then, if you like, practice with it. Okay, guys, have a great week. See you soon.